David Andrew Wiebe, founder of Spark Infinity niche-based Facebook group. David, what is going on in Spark Infinity?
Spark Infinity has been growing pretty rapidly since January. We started with literally 4 or 5 members, now to well over 1,400 people, serving creatives and creators, poets, artists, visual artists, musicians, actors, actresses.
What should members of Spark Infinity be prepared for? What are the live shows about?
We like to interview people and get a sense of who they are, the kind of things they do, highlight them, and especially their amazingness, their personality, their superpowers, whatever makes them great. That's what we like to highlight in those conversations.
So how could members of Spark Infinity also benefit from Bump Global?
For one thing, there are so many amazing heart-centered founders of various niche-based Facebook groups that if you wanted to be interviewed, you could just put yourself in the middle of the storm and find all kinds of groups to be featured in and interviewed in all day long. And the other thing is, if they have the desire and the work ethic to build their own niche-based Facebook group and blow it up, that's another opportunity that's waiting for them. And I only see things growing from there.
Spark Infinity, I hope you're having a great day. We don't have anything special planned for tonight. I just wanted to log in and share my thanks and my gratitude to the amazing series of conversations we've had in the last little while. I was trying to figure it out in the calendar because I was like, when did this happen and when did that happen? But in the last week, we've had several, I think it's 5 or 6 amazing conversations. I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge all those people. And just so you know, like, I'm not picking on anyone, and I'm also not trying to leave anyone out. We've had amazing conversations in Spark Infinity since the very beginning, and we're going to continue to have a lot of amazing conversations. But for whatever reason, this last week, it's kind of been a bit of a hustle. But this last week has been particularly notable and memorable for me, and I think it has been for some of you as well, based on the comments that we've been getting. So first and foremost, this one happened last Saturday. Aaron Marcus, great conversation. Actually, could very well be my favorite interview that I've done so far. Something you may know or may not know is that when you do as many conversations and you do as many lives as I have been doing, some days you show up in top form and some days you don't. And you actually just kind of have to roll with it. That's the nature of things. This is something I'm sure many creators out there can relate to, especially musicians. If you're like a touring musician, then you know what that feels like, where one night you're on and another night you feel a little bit off. Chances are you're still doing a great job and nobody probably notices when you're off. At least no, maybe musicians might notice, but certainly no one in the average audience is going to notice whether you're having a good night or a bad night. But I think many of you can kind of relate to what I'm saying. So I show up in the best form I can. Some days that actually means I'm a little bit tired. Some days that means I'm a little bit out of it. But it's far more important to this community, at least as far as I'm concerned, to show up and to continually and to keep showing up, because this is where the difference is made. And so that's why I continue to do things the way I do them. But I think I was in a pretty good space when I had a conversation with Aaron. Really appreciated what he brought to the table in terms of acting and modeling and all the great tips in there. Go and have a listen or go have a viewing of that particular interview. I think you'll really, really enjoy it. Next up was on Monday with Stephen Puri. There's no way this couldn't have been a great conversation. We were just set up for it because he talks about remote work and productivity, and it's some of the same stuff I talk about. Now, I don't know whether I can call myself an expert or not. Maybe I should allow myself. I did write a book on the topic, and it did win an award. So yeah, I would say I'm probably a productivity expert as well. Not surprising. Yeah, this made it easy for us to talk at length about that topic, and that's another interview that, if you want to learn how to get more things done with less time, less energy, that's an excellent interview. In the last few days, we've had Marie Beswick Arthur. Marie shared a lot about her journey as a writer and a ghostwriter and how she's worked on 60 plus books to date. A lot of gold nuggets in this interview, and we had a great time connecting, as of course we would. I'm a writer. She's a writer. If you hadn't figured out, but I do many things, right? And then we had a conversation with Oswald Hunter yesterday. Oswald loved his energy, loved what he shared about acting, his background in music and various other things. Really fantastic conversation. And of course, today we had Amos Bracewell back to share some updates about Bump Global TV. If you don't know what that is, leave a comment or leave something in the chat saying bump, because we need to have a conversation about that. And I need to direct you to Amos, who can share all the amazing details of what this group offers. But it's fair to say Spark Infinity would not exist in its current form without what I've learned from Amos. So another fun conversation with multiple updates. That's what I've got for you today. That's what I wanted to share. I need to get some rest. I'm currently, I won't call it a diet. It's more of a process. It's a short-term thing that you do to reset your body, and kind of like a day three, and not feeling my absolute best. I'm sounding more coherent than I thought I would, and that's a good thing. But I'm feeling a little tired. I need to eat. I need to get some rest. Eat the remaining 250 calories or whatever it is I'm supposed to get in a day. It's not much, because that's just how this process works. But fortunately, that doesn't go on forever. That has an expiration date as well. So, like I said, great conversations, and there's going to be more great ones. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm not trying to leave anyone out. We've had great conversations from the beginning. We're going to have more great conversations moving forward. So, thanks for tuning in. That's what I got for you tonight. But we should have more cool things coming up on Thursday nights once we get around to it. Okay. Thanks, Spark Infinity.